Today on Firebird Nation Sports Update, we'll recap the University of the District of Columbia men's and women's basketball seasons, and we'll visit with head coaches Jeff Ruland and Jay Butler. We'll also shift gears to the spring sports as we chat with University of the District of Columbia head men's and women's tennis coach Dickie Mahaffey and head women's track and field coach Alton McKenzie. Firebird Nation Sports Update is next. Hello, this is Firebird Nation Sports Update, and I'm your host, Matt Rienzo. Firebird Nation Sports Update is your one-stop shop for all things UDC athletics. Flap your wings and get ready to soar because the Firebird is rising in the nation's capital. The men's and women's basketball teams capped off historic seasons as both teams advanced to the NCAA tournament. This achievement marked the first time ever that both the men's and women's basketball teams made the NCAA tournament in the same year. This was the fourth NCAA tournament berth all time for the men's basketball team and the first trip to the NCAA postseason in 25 years. In the first year in the East Coast Conference, senior point guard Nigel Munson was named first team All-ECC and first team All-Region. Junior center Dyreek Jones was named ECC Defensive Player of the Year, and he finished the season in the top 5 in the country in blocks per game. The men's basketball team went into the ECC Conference Tournament as the second seed overall, earning a first-round bye into the semifinals. But the Firebirds fell to third-seeded Bridgeport University, 76-65. Despite the semifinal defeat in the ECC tournament, the Firebirds earned the 7th seed in the East region of the NCAA tournament in a matchup against second-seeded Stonehill College out of Massachusetts. The Firebirds traveled to Worcester, Massachusetts on March 10th to take on the Northeast 10 champions. The Firebirds fought hard but came out on the losing end by a close margin of 65-61. The Firebirds finished out the season with a 22-6 record overall. On the women's side, the trip to the NCAA tournament marked the 5th time in school history and the 2nd time in 4 years in the postseason. Senior guard Lauren Brittingham was named first team All-ECC. Much like the men's squad, the women's basketball team earned the 2nd seed in the East Coast Conference tournament and a bye into the semifinals. The Firebirds fell in the ECC semifinals to third-seeded St. Thomas Aquinas by a score of 63-61. The Firebirds then secured the 8th seed in the East region of the NCAA tournament in a matchup with number 1 seeded Bentley University. The Firebirds traveled to Waltham, Massachusetts on March 9th and fell to the top-seeded Falcons 77-58. The Firebirds closed out the season with a 21-7 record. For more information on Firebird basketball or any of our sports programs, visit us on the web at udcfirebirds.com. Coming up next, men's basketball head coach Jeff Ruland. We're in the Coach's Corner with University of the District of Columbia head men's basketball coach Jeff Ruland. Coach, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Coach, your team finished 22-6, made the NCAA tournament for the first time in 25 years. What are your thoughts looking back on the season?
Well, it was a great accomplishment, but I wouldn't be who I am if I didn't tell you I was still disappointed. I thought we could play for a national championship and still smarting from the loss to Stonehill. I don't think we played our best basketball, and still kind of a mystery to me today as why that is. But overall, we had a great year and proud of our guys. And obviously, the first time in 25 years is something special. But there's still, that part of me walking around, it's, saying, should we still be playing, and why aren't we, and why didn't it happen? So.
Obviously, there's some disappointment there in your voice, you can tell, and that's understandable. This was your team's first year in the East Coast Conference. You earned the 2nd seed going into the ECC tournament, and we talked about you made the NCAA tournament for the first time in 25 years. I know you're proud of your players and how far you've come. Just elaborate on how proud you are of your guys and how far the program's come in just 2 short years.
Well, it's come a long way. I'm proud of most of our guys because most of them are doing really well in school, and that comes first, as it should. So I'm proud of most of our guys. We had one guy that didn't do what he was supposed to do, and unfortunately he wasn't eligible the last year, and he let his teammates down, he let himself down, but that's something he's got to live with. But as far as the other guys, I'm extremely proud, especially the seniors, obviously, and looking forward to kind of what's in store for them down the road. I'm trying to get Nigel into the Portsmouth tournament, which is a prelude to the NBA draft, and help him get some looks. And obviously, Deshaun and both Brandon want to play overseas, so we'll help him with that. As also those finishing the semester strong academically, but also recruiting. Last summer we weren't allowed to go out because of budgetary issues, and that kind of put us behind the 8 ball, but we're in the process of recruiting some really good players and hope to be as good, if not better, next year.
You mentioned Brandon and Nigel pro aspirations. What are their chances realistically relative to each other?
I think all 3 of the senior guards can play overseas. At what level, that's not for me to determine. I'm going to try to obviously get them as many opportunities, and the more they're seen, the better their chances. But I think they all can play overseas. At what level, that's to be determined. But I don't have any influence on that.
Right. And we talked a little bit about the East Coast Conference being the first year that your team was in the conference, and this is the first ECC tournament that you played in, and then couple that with the NCAA tournament. How special was it for your players to be involved in the postseason finally?
It's great with the being in the league because of the automatic bid and the scheduling difficulties we've had over the years being independent. It's just tough, especially when you start to become good. No one wants to play you. As far as the tournament, I really couldn't enjoy it. I was deathly ill, and that's the first game I've ever missed. As far as the coach,
tournament.
yeah, I missed because I was extremely sick. I mean, I've coached games with broken ribs and migraines and things like that, but I had a stomach flu from Hades, and so I couldn't really comment too much about that game. But obviously, I wanted to win the regular season and get the automatic bid instead of wait to get an at-large. But because of the strength of schedule and the schedule that we did play earlier in the season, it got us over the hump.
Now, Coach, as the head coach, how do you build on the success that you had this year and use that as momentum into next year, or you're just starting from scratch every year?
No, not so much starting to scratch. We've got some returning players. Might be fewer than people think, but got some returning players, and the success, is helping us in recruiting. A lot more people have reached out to myself and my staff. There's a lot more leads, and as a matter of fact, it's very time-consuming. The videos and this guy can play. We're doing our due diligence. We've got 4 or 5 guys right now that are close to pulling the trigger, and we can finish them off, then we'll have a great recruiting class. You
mentioned some of the returners that you have or may not have, and what does next year's team look like, or do you even know yet?
Don't even know, because we lose so many points and a lot of leadership. With the guys we're involved with, I think can step in and fill that void. Obviously we'll look to Dyreek and Keith. Will be the players I brought in here when I first came. I'm looking for them to be seniors and being more of leaders and being a bigger part of what we're doing. Zod and Flo and those guys have a lot of work to do over the summer, and still yet to be determined if the remaining 4 guys are going to, all or some of them are going to be back right now, to be honest with you.
And how much they'll help and in what capacity?
Yeah, sure. None of them have played extensive minutes. They all have potential, but potential is just that, potential. Potential's gotten a lot of coaches fired.
You mentioned the summertime. What does the summertime hold for you and your staff? What do the next few months look like, the rest of the spring?
Well, we'll be out and, going over leads, seeing some of the guys that we've targeted and beating the bushes and trying to finish off the recruiting class. The downside being in Division II is that a lot of kids want to play Division I. So you've got to wait kind of till that window closes for some people. Others, you don't have that problem with transfers and guys that aren't eligible. So obviously we're working on that, but it's a fun time of the year.
Coach Ruland, thanks for joining us today on the Coach's Corner. Coming up next, we'll visit with head women's basketball coach Jay Butler. We're back in the Coach's Corner with University of the District of Columbia head women's basketball coach Jay Butler. Coach, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me, Matt.
Coach, you guys had a terrific year, 21-7 record, made it to the NCAA tournament. What are your thoughts as you look back on the season?
This year was a great year for us. Started the year out, we wanted to set goals on winning the ECC championship and making it to the NCAA tournament. We fell short with the ECC tournament, falling into St. Thomas Aquinas in the conference semifinals, but we made our ultimate goal getting into the NCAA, and had the opportunity to play one of the better teams in the country with Bentley, who's currently top 5 in the country.
It's a tough matchup for the first
very
first
tough.
round.
A host team, traditionally top team in the East region. So just to have the opportunity to play against one of the best teams in the country, it was a good experience for us.
And you earned the second team, like you said, the second seed in the ECC tournament, made it to the NCAA tournament. How proud are you of your players?
I'm very proud of them. They did a great job all year. We battled through a lot of adversity. The young lady, Jamila Bonner, tore her ACL. She was our leading scorer, our go-to player. And the kids stepped up and played. And, we could have just packed it in, but they stepped up and finished the season strong and was able to, get into the NCAA.
It's your second NCAA tournament appearance in 4 years. You made it in 2009 as well. How do you keep that level of success and even take it to another level next season?
With the women's program, we just expect to make it to the NCAA every year. That's our goal, and that's what we shoot for. And it starts with recruiting. Got to bring in the top kids, and you want to bring in good kids. Good kids in the classroom and on the basketball court. And right now, the coaching staff did a great job this year with bringing in a good group, and we got to continue to bring in good student athletes.
Got to bring in a good group to replace the 7 seniors.
Oh, exactly. 7 seniors is going to be hard to replace those because they did so much for us on the court and off the court. But we're working really hard. And, it's not a situation where we want to rebuild. We're going to reload, get back to continue to win 20 games a year and making it to the NCAA tournament.
Now, this is your first year in the East Coast Conference. You made it to the NCAA tournament, so you got to play in 2 postseason tournaments. How special was that for the players?
Oh, it was big. When you go out and recruit a kid, you say, we're independent, but we're working on getting in the conference. Finally had the opportunity to get into the ECC, and then you go through the season and say, hey, now we got an opportunity to play for an ECC championship and ultimately an NCAA bid. So, it was great. The kids, Stacy Griffith and Jasmine Rich, they've been with me for 4 years, and, for 3 years, they basically played an independent schedule where you have no chance of winning a conference tournament. So for them in their senior year to have an opportunity to play for a conference championship was big.
That adds an extra element of excitement.
Oh, definitely.
That's great. One thing I noticed, there was an NCAA send-off pep rally for your team when you made it to the NCAA tournament. Mm-hmm. How special was that, and some of the increased support that you've gotten this year?
Well, like you said, 2009 we made the NCAA tournament. They had a send-off for us. It wasn't very big, and the kids were, they was a little disappointed. They was happy that, the administration and the school thought of them, but it wasn't a big turnout. So this year when we came down the steps headed towards the auditorium, their eyes was like, wow. So it was a nice turnout, a nice
feeling.
crowd. Oh, yes, it was great.
So what will next year's team look like when you lose those 7 seniors? You're talking about rebuilding versus reloading. What will next year's team look like, or do you even know yet?
We're still working, and the kids that we got returning that's here right now, Danica Brent, who made all ECC, all rookie team. She's a good piece going into next year. Brittany Harrison, freshman, 6'4" post player who played well against Bentley in the first round of the NCAA tournament. Then we had a kid, Robin Kiki, who tore her Achilles early in the year. She's sitting out. So we got a good group coming back, but we got to definitely add some pieces.
Blend with some new players.
Right, and you know, the most important part is to bring them all in and get that chemistry down and make another run for the ECC Conference Championship.
As the head coach, how do you build off this year's success? Can you create momentum going into next year, or you're starting from scratch?
Oh, no, like we said, we basically going to just try to reload and build on the group that we got here, build on the success. We've won 3 20-win seasons, 2 NCAA tournaments in the last 4 years. So right now we just want to keep it going, keep the momentum. We want to be mentioned with the Bentleys and Shaw University top 25 programs.
That's a great goal, and certainly the East Coast Conference will help you attain those goals, I'd imagine. Being in a conference, trying to win the league. Now, what does the summertime and the next few months hold for you and your coaching staff? What is Division II women's basketball landscape like during the summertime?
Right now, for the summertime, is recruiting, getting those kids in, and that signing period in the spring, and then move on to the summer where we start recruiting for 2013. But basically just continue to work hard in the off season. Got some kids that might stay here and go to summer school and work on their game, and just try to get ready for next year to have another great year.
And for the viewers who don't understand, University of District of Columbia is Division II. What are some of the differences in recruiting between Division I and Division II from a basketball aspect?
Basically, Division I, you got all the big showcases out there where all the top talent go to, and we, as a Division II coach, you get the opportunity to go to those events, but you kind of wait on that second tier or third tier player that might fall through the cracks to a Division II, or you might have an opportunity to get a Division I transfer. So it's almost like a wait and see, and you try to go out and recruit a big pool of players, and then you kind of work through the list and try to find that diamond in the rough.
I imagine it's a big draw being in the nation's capital, being able to attract people to the University of the District of Columbia.
Definitely.
Is that one of the selling points?
Definitely, with the selling points, just being in the D.C. area. A lot of kids far up as New York would definitely like to, go to school in D.C. And then far down south is North Carolina, South Carolina, ultimately want to come up to the D.C. area with an opportunity to, finish school, opportunity to get a job when you finish up with their playing days.
And I know you can't speak about specific individuals, but how is recruiting going in general for the Firebirds?
It's going well, with the men and the women doing well this year, and then the school is definitely on the rise. Recruiting is picked up. It helps out a lot being in the ECC, where a kid can come in and say, hey, I got an opportunity to make an all-conference or compete for a conference championship. So being in the ECC helps out a lot with recruiting.
And I think those trips to New York, maybe being able to sell student athletes with, hey, you get to go to New York on a regular basis, see, one of the greatest cities in the world, that's got to help as well.
Oh, definitely. And we tend to recruit heavy in the New York, New Jersey area, so we've had an opportunity.
They get a chance to go home.
Get an opportunity to go home and play in front of their family. So it's big with being in the conference.
Well, that's great. Coach Butler, thanks for joining us today. Coming up next, we'll visit with head tennis coach Dickie Mahaffey and head track and field coach Alton McKenzie. We're back in the studio, and I'd like to welcome University of the District of Columbia head coaches, men's and women's tennis, Dickie Mahaffey, men's and women's cross country, and indoor and outdoor women's track and field, Alton McKenzie. Coaches, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you, man.
Thanks for having us.
Coach Mahaffey, let's start with you. You coach men's and women's tennis. Your women's tennis team won the ECC championship, the East Coast Conference championship this fall. Congratulations on that.
Thank you. Thank you.
That was the first ECC championship that the university's ever won since the university just joined the conference this past summer. How special was that for you and for your team to win the first ever ECC championship for the University of the District of Columbia?
Probably one of the most special moments of my career professionally, and so very proud of the achievement of the ladies, and the hard work that they put in paid off in the long run. And now we're looking forward to NCAA championships coming up late April.
You must be very proud of the young ladies and of all their achievements, and certainly on the men's side, you've got a very solid squad as well, and looking towards this spring in their championship season. What do you see there for the men?
Well, we returned 4 of our core players from last year, seniors Tomas Gajusek and Bruno Heisch, in addition to ECC Rookie of the Year Miguel Uzcategui and Carlos Quiroga. And off to a very strong start. In addition, we've added Alexander Grabovac and Simon Anderson to our team. We're looking to improve on our runner-up achievement last year in men's tennis, and hopefully win the ECC championship and move on to regionals and NCAAs this season.
You've done a great job, obviously, transforming the tennis team. You won Coach of the Year last spring in 2011 with the men's team, and then you won Coach of the Year with the women's team in the ECC in the fall. How proud are you of that accomplishment?
Very proud, Matt. Again, it's a testament to the hard work and the commitment of our kids, our student athletes here in the tennis teams. And again, I'm just very honored to represent our university and our athletics program.
Coach, let's turn it over to you, Coach Alton McKenzie. You coach men's, women's cross country in the fall,
Correct.
Women's indoor track in the winter,
Correct.
Women's outdoor track in the spring.
Yes.
There's no time off for you, is there?
No, Christmas, maybe we get 2 weeks off, and that's not really a true break either, because we're still training through that. So it's truly a testament to how committed our track teams are. I view cross country as preparation for indoor and outdoor, especially on the women's side, because I primarily have sprinters. So cross country for them is a lot of hard work and pain, but it benefits us in the indoor and outdoor season. And on the men's side, cross country is it for them, so they have to start from early summer. So they're really not training just beginning of the school year. They start from June and July.
Let's start with cross country. Could you just tell us a little bit about how the cross country season went in the fall?
Sure. It was wonderful getting into the ECC, being in a conference. You have something to look forward to or look towards. So I was very happy that we were able to compete in a conference. On the men's side, we had a All-American from '09, Hillary Mugen. So the goal was to see if he could compete for a conference championship. And though we came up just short, he was a runner-up, which was very commendable, our first time competing in the conference. And he ended up all-conference, so that was a good accomplishment. And him and
he was first team All-ECC.
Correct.
Must be very proud of that accomplishment.
Yes, correct. I look forward to him competing more, and I think it's a good step as far as when we started. And we're looking forward to not just competing as individuals, but hopefully as a team next year we'll make a mark as well.
Great. Now let's shift to women's indoor and outdoor track. Who are some of the athletes that we need to look for on that side?
Sure. We have 2 track All-Americans, Kenesha Hollis and LaToya Allen, who are seniors. And then we have Callister Jones, who's actually stepping up big time this season. Indoor, we had some injuries. Katie and Jones is an addition that we had some injuries. We have some young kids, some young sprinters coming along as well. Tatiana Kamak, Atia Amos, who was a transfer, Jasmine Smith, who was a sophomore. We're young, but we're going to have some potential. We have field events athletes too. Shauna K. Creary in the long jump, Ariel Clark, shot put javelin thrower. So we're pretty diverse. We're very small, but I'm pretty busy. Regardless of having a very small squad, we kind of cover everything across the board, track and field.
Great. Well, let's shift back to you, Coach Mahaffey. On the women's side, who are some of the big guns on the tennis team for the women's team?
Well, we have a junior, Christina Nepevido, captain of the team, very strong player in singles and doubles, in addition, as well as sophomore Jessica Nunez. Both were first team all conference this past fall. And in addition to those two young ladies, we have Maria Vikinas, a senior, freshman Maxime Doust, and Sophia Leon and Taya Billa.
Excellent. And shifting back to the men's squad, do you think they'll be able to return serve, so to speak, with the women and win the ECC championship this year?
Let's just say the men are very motivated by the women's accomplishments this fall. So they're going to they're right. So far, so good. We're definitely performing at a very high level, improving every day. So I'm very optimistic that the men will do very well this year.
And one of your men student athletes, Tomas Gajusek, won men's tennis ECC Scholar Athlete of the Year. That's quite an accomplishment last year.
Yes,
what can you tell us about him and about that achievement?
Well, it kind of speaks for itself. Not only is Tomas an exceptional tennis player, winning the Player of the Year award for the ECC in 2009-2010 season, he excels not only on the tennis court but as well in the classroom. Sets a very strong example for the rest of the team, for both the men's and women's team.
And for all the student athletes in the department, I'd imagine.
Correct.
That's just great. Congratulations on that. Open it up to either one of you. Dickie, you've been at the University of District of Columbia for a couple years now. Alton, you're coming up just over a year. What's it like working at the university? What are the things that you like about the University of the District of Columbia? Open it up to either one of you.
Well, I'll start. It's a great opportunity for me. The biggest attraction to me is being on a campus that's right, 15 minutes from my home. It's in the nation's capital. I find it very welcoming to be able to compete in this area. There's a lot of top-tier programs in this area, so I can pick and choose. Penn Relays, we go to. The University of Maryland has meets, so I'm in an area where I can find good meets to compete at.
Sure,
so.
And in the nation's capital must be great for recruiting.
It's great.
Coach Mahaffey, how about you?
I've just enjoy the opportunity to be part of the rebuilding of not just the tennis programs, but being part of all around, not just the athletics, but the university as a whole, as it rebuilds and grows, and the rebirth, shall we say. And again, being from Washington, D.C., it's an honor to be able to represent the university that represents my hometown.
There certainly does seem to be a rebirth going on in the athletic department at the University of District of Columbia. Coaches, thanks very much for joining us today. Best of luck to you in your respective seasons this spring and beyond. Thank you very much.
All right, thanks a lot.
Thanks for watching the Firebird Nation Sports Update. I'm Matt Rienzo. The Firebird is rising in the nation's capital, and we're glad you're along for the ride.